welcome back to my channel. I'm so good to have you and I'm so glad you clicked on. Let's talk about all of the books that I've rated 5 stars and some honorable mentions that are like basically 5 stars but weren't quite there that I've read in the year 2026. We're halfway through, so I figured it would be fun to do this. I've had a total of 7 5-star reads, but I have 6 books that like were really close to 5 stars that I wanted to mention and recommend picking up. And honestly, if I really think about them, they could be 5 stars, but a 4.5 is a great rating and that's what all of these are. So I figure we maybe start with the honorable mentions and then get into the 5-star reads that I had. Okay, first honorable mention that we have is Stage Set for Villains. This was so good. It is a standalone fantasy and it's like this like moving circus, but it was banned for however long and then the contract or treaty type of thing kind of like expired. So it appeared again and it was looking for new players, and these players are like basically fighting for immortality, and there's just so much happening, but in the best way possible. There's a romance in here, and at the end the twist was crazy. It definitely wasn't something that I guessed. So I had a lot of fun reading this, and it was so close to a 5 stars but wasn't quite there for me. It is such a fun standalone though, so if you're looking for a fantasy book that is not a huge commitment, I would definitely recommend picking this one up. Next book that is a 4.5 star read for me was The Someday Garden by Ashley Poston. I loved this book. I thought it was beautifully written and I really loved the characters and I loved the story. This one is following our female main character. She's a gardener. This book starts 10 years in the past and then goes to 10 years in the future, this grand house, and it is called the Lily Moor, and there are some magical elements in this story. It's very whimsical and there is a silly goose in the story, so it was genuinely just such a good time. There's a bit of grief in this book. Our female main character lost her best friend and she's kind of trying to find her way and trying to understand what she wants and who she wants to be and where she wants to go with her gardening. And I really enjoy this. There is a romance, and technically I wouldn't even classify it as a love triangle. The magical element part is that one of the male main characters is like in a magical garden that only appears like every now and then, and she's trying to get him out of it. This one was really fun. It was almost a 5 stars but wasn't quite there, but it was so good. Next we have The Silversmith. I really enjoyed this book. I think that the second book has a lot of potential to be a 5 stars for me because the ending of this one was absolutely crazy. This is a fantasy book. The second book comes out I believe in September. I don't know if it's going to be a duology or a trilogy or anything else about it. I just picked this up because honestly I looked at the cover and I thought that it was really pretty, so I wanted to try it out. There's a fae realm type of thing, and then there's also like normal people type of thing, and our female main character is this lost heir. Basically she is struggling to stay alive. Her mother just abandoned her, left her out of nowhere. Her dad was murdered, her brother was murdered, so she's like on her own trying to figure all this out, and then randomly one day her best friend shows up at her door after like literally not seeing her for 8 weeks and is like trying to help her, and then the next day 4 men show up and they're like, yeah, telling her stories of lost magic and that she has like this kingdom that she's basically the heir of and like the queen of, and she needs to come back and help them restore the magic and balance. So this was really fun, really interesting. I would definitely recommend picking this up. I had so much fun reading it. There's twists in here. There is something that's pretty predictable, but not like predictable in an annoying way, just like when are you gonna figure this out, you know what I mean? So I really enjoyed this one. Next we have How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. I love Catherine Walsh. She has written so many like holiday books, and she finally came out with a non-holiday book, and this one was so good. All of her books are set in Ireland, so you have that fun setting, and these 2 characters are bookish. We have a publisher and we have a author. The author, her father passed away and she is trying to write his books, and obviously the publisher / editor is trying to get her to write these books and trying to help her, and then they fall in love, and it's a beautiful story, and I just had so much fun reading this. Catherine Walsh's writing style is very benchable, super easy, just has a good flow. I love this book. So this was almost a 5 star, just wasn't quite there. Next we have An Academic Affair. I also love this book. We have some academic kind of bookish people in this one, so I mean, look at the cover. It's gorgeous. I loved the writing in the story. There's like little footnotes in all of his point of view chapters, and they're so good, they're so fun. This is a little bit of a marriage of convenience, workplace romance, and forced proximity and roommates. So you get a little bit of a lot of stuff, and it was so fun. It's a slow burn. I'm pretty sure they literally don't kiss until like almost the end of the book, and it's also shorter. It's like a little over 300 pages, just super fast-paced read. They're both fighting for the same job, and then in the contract it says if they're married, they could both get a job at this university. So this one was really fun. Last book that's an honorable mention that could be a 5 stars, honestly, is Half City by Kate Golden. So much fun. It's demon hunters, academic setting. There's like a human realm and then a demon hunter realm, and it's so cool. And there was so many aspects of the story that were so fun, and there was a romance that was really good. It was such a fun time. Our female main character is 21. She on her own is hunting demons. She is always on the lookout, and then one day she gets approached by this dark, mysterious man and is like, you should come to the academy, learn how to actually demon hunt, blah blah blah. And then she uncovers so many things about her parents, her father, like all of these different things that she's finding out. And while this is all happening, she's also trying to like get rid of demons and like save the world, essentially. So this was really fun. It also has an urban setting, so if you liked Crescent City, you would really like this for sure. Okay, now we're moving on to the actual 5-star reads that I've had. Those were all, honestly, if I think about them for a very long time, they could be 5 stars. But these ones were like immediately I finished the book and I was like, that's a 5-star read. So first things first, The Night We Met. I loved this book. I did. And you know what's funny is that it has a trope that I typically wouldn't enjoy, but the way that it was written, I did. Our female main character is the girlfriend of his best friend, but it's a very new relationship, and the way that her boyfriend is portrayed, you literally cannot like him at all throughout the entire story. But it does look like he's gonna have a redemption story, because at the end of this one you kind of get that, and I do believe the next book in this series is his book, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I saw on her Instagram. But this was good. This was really good. I can see why some people didn't like it, obviously, because it has that trope where it kind of almost crosses the line of where it's like, ugh, but nothing happens until her and his best friend are broken up, and he just like has to be there for her so often because his best friend is such an inconsiderate, selfish man. So then their relationship grew, and I rated this 5 stars. I love Abby Jimenez. I'm obsessed with her writing, obsessed with her characters. I had so much fun reading it. I binged it in a day. I couldn't put it down. I love these two together. Like, they made sense. Her and his best friend did not make sense. They made sense. Dolly all the time. This was an immediate 5 star. I knew this was going to be a 5 star when I went into it. I love Annabelle Monaghan. Her writing style is gorgeous. It definitely reminds me of Emily Henry in a way, and I love how she writes her characters. I love the communication that she puts in. The third act breakups are not annoying, and this one was no different. I love this one. Our female main character is a caretaker. Like, she puts everybody above herself. She puts her son above her father above her, and she is there to take care of people. That is what she wants to do. That's who she is. And she needs money. She needs money to save her dad's little business thing, their house, their generational home. So our male main character in this hires her to be his fake girlfriend, and they end up obviously falling in love. There's some different things that they have to do. They're fake dating. They're dating in front of their families. His family is the one that they're like trying to be like, oh, we're in a relationship, because he is a workaholic and has to prove to his mom and dad that he can have a life outside of work. And it was just beautiful. I really liked him. I loved these two characters together. Their communication style was great, and I really enjoyed the entire story. Like, there was not a point of this book where I was like, oh, I love this. And I think that everybody should read Annabelle Monaghan books, especially if you want a summer romance, because all of her books are so good for the summertime. Oh, another book that I read that was 5 stars was Lost and Found by Tara Dewitt. I got the arc to this book, and oh my god, you guys, it was so good. I was reading it while I was literally in labor. It hit even harder because that book is following our female main character, and she had just previously lost her best friend to cancer, and her best friend leaves her eggs, and is like, do what you want with these. If you want to have a baby, like, you know, which is such a crazy concept and insane to think about, but you're following that. And the male main character was the brother of, I think, one of the characters in the previous books, Left of Forever. I believe that's who he's related to. But it was so good, and when that comes out, everybody needs to read it because it was beautiful, and I loved the connection in that story. Another connection that I loved, Into the Blue. I loved this book, and I've been seeing a lot of people not loving it, but I ate this up. I thought that this was like one of those books that you just are engrossed in and like cannot stop reading. That's what happened to me when I was reading this. I kind of am relating it to The Favorites by Lane Fargo. If you enjoyed that book, you will love this book. It kind of has that like star-crossed lover thing, but like no time is ever right. That's kind of what this book is, and it was so good. It also is kind of like not Magnolia Parks in the way of like anything, but the vibes of Magnolia Parks were, again, like these people are just like meant to be together, but it's like so hard for them to like allow themselves to love each other. Do you know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. But this book was so good. Actors and actress trying to get into screenplays, they're screen partners, they grew up together, and then he disappears, he leaves her without saying anything. They don't see each other for a super long time until they're put into this screenplay together. This was beautiful. The writing was also just stunning. There's quotes in this book that I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. Next, we have a fantasy book that I'm actually obsessed with and I think about almost every single day, just Starside by Alex Astor. I did not think I was gonna love this as much as I did because I read the Lightlark series, and while the first book was good, the second two pretty much let me down. I was not enjoying them. But this, everyone needs to read this. I will recommend this to literally anybody asking for a book because this was so fun. There is trials, there's dragons, there's gods, and it's just like the romance was also so good. It was slow burn and it was enemies to lovers, but they ended up having to work together, and then there's a huge reveal at the end that's like a betrayal, and it's just, this book was so good. The second book comes out, I believe, in November, and I literally cannot wait to get my hands on it. This is following our female main character, and she wants to get revenge on the gods because her entire family was murdered by them, the god of death specifically. So she's entered this, like, every 50 years there is this like huge trial type of thing with mortals where they are all fighting for immortality and fighting to get something from these gods, and our female character wants revenge on these gods. She wants to kill them because they killed her family. So she becomes a competitor in these trials, and throughout the trial she is becoming friends with people. She has a found family in this, and she also sparks a romance with this mysterious, dark, like really strong warrior essentially. And it's just, this book was so good, you guys. The tension, everything about this was so good because not only was the romance good, but the entire story was entertaining. I read this in 2 sittings, and it's an over 500-page book. Highly recommend giving this one a shot. The next 5-star that I had was Direbound. I love this book. If you enjoyed Fourth Wing, you would like this one, and you would arguably like it more because the second book was not a disappointment. I love this. It's like Fourth Wing but with wolves, and arguably better. I thought that the characters in the story were so well written and so well developed, and the found family that you get in the story was great. I really enjoyed our female main character. She was a very strong female main character, and I really enjoyed that. You know I love a strong FMC, especially in fantasy books. I like ones that like really hold their ground, know what they want, do what they want, and this one did not disappoint. So if you want a good fantasy book, do this one. Our female main character, Marin, basically her sister is kidnapped and she hates the bonded, and the bonded are these like wolves. You can bond with wolves essentially, and there's trainers and stuff like that. So it was just really fun following her journey. And then obviously at the end of this book there's a crazy cliffhanger, so you're like, oh my god, give me the next one. And I read the next one already. It was really good. It could go under honorable mentions, but I wanted to stick with just the first books in series, so I would really highly recommend picking this up. Next 5-star that we had that was not a surprise to me in any way was No Matter What by Cara Bastone. I love this author. She writes the most beautiful, heartbreaking books. This one is a marriage in turmoil, and I really enjoy those books because I think it's so beautiful watching two people like drift apart but love each other so much that they want to come back to each other. So this one did not disappoint. It was a kind of a traumatic experience that kind of set them apart because they didn't know what the other needed from them, and their communication was lost, but like not in a bad way, in a way that they were like, what can I do to help? Because both of them had experienced an accident with his brother, and it was just a whole devastating event, and now they're trying to come back to each other, and you just follow their story and you watch our female main character find herself again, and you watch our male main character grow and understand that like he can't always be what like fixes the problem. So this was beautiful, this was sad, it was so good, and it was just, I really liked watching the characters rediscover themselves and come into something and then come out something better. The way that they grew was beautiful. And then the last 5-star read that I've had, which was actually my first 5-star read of the year, was actually Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. I loved this book. I don't know what she put in this book, but I was eating it up. This is a young adult romance, and I could not stop reading it. I binged it. Literally, I don't even know why. But it's a fake dating. They're in high school. They are just such a fun couple to follow. He's a hockey player. She hates hockey, but she needs something for her resume and her like college applications, so they work together to kind of do this thing, and it was just so fun. If you're looking for a lighthearted, fun, there's also depth in this book too. It's not just like surface level, but I had so much fun reading this, and I would recommend picking it up if you haven't already. This is definitely my favorite Lynn Painter book and I've read, I think, almost all of them, so that says a lot. Those are all of my 5-star reads that I've had so far in the year 2026, and we're halfway through, so I'm hoping that I can find a few more. I feel like I've had some really great reads this year. I definitely have a lot more 4s and 4.5s that I could share, but those are just what I had off the top of my head that I can't stop thinking about, and I thought it would be fun to recommend for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see any more recommendation videos, let me know and I will be sure to make some. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo!